Okay, to verify the congruence of two different figures here, triangle XYZ and triangle ABC, we want to show that they are a rigid transformation. We want to show that they're congruent. So it's asking us in order to verify that, we need to determine what composition of rigid motions will map triangle XYZ to triangle ABC. So again, our rigid motions are reflections, rotations, and translations. Okay. So there's numerous ways to do this. We can do, so just to use one as an example here, if we were to shift, translate triangle XYZ one to the right. So if we were to translate it one to the right, right? And then if we reflected it over the y-axis, okay, we would end up with z prime here. We'd end up with x prime right here. I'm sorry, z prime. I'm not sure why I put a z sub 1 there. Right, so that'd be a reflection of the y-axis. And then let's see, this one would be at -5, so this one would be at 5 here. So this would be y prime. Okay. And then you could reflect over the line y equals 2. So then if you reflect it over this line, let's draw it across here, y equals 2. You reflect it down, right? X, since x prime and z prime are on the line of reflection, they're going to stay the same. Y prime is 3 units above, so it's going to go 3 units down. So when you reflect over that one, this would be y double prime. This would become x double prime and z double prime, right? And so triangle x double prime, y double prime, z double prime is the same as triangle ABC. So we're showing that if we do a couple, or in this case, 3 rigid transformations, it's going to be the same as triangle ABC, the same side lengths, the same angle measures. So it's going to be congruent. So if we do a couple, if we can show which rigid transformations are going to put our triangle on top of the other one, that's what's going to show that they're congruent. That's what's going to verify our congruence. Okay, so what we did here is we translated, right, according to the rule 1, 0, right, we translated one to the right. Okay. And then we reflected it over the y-axis. So we capital R here, and we reflected across the y-axis. And then we took that reflection and we reflected it across the line, y equals 2. Okay, so that was x, y, z is what we were transforming. Triangle x, y, z. Right, and that gave us triangle ABC. So that's kind of how we would formally write it out. I don't mind if you, instead of writing out the formal composition here, if you guys just give a written description of how you were transforming it, that would be fine. Again, there's many different ways you could do this. We could have rotated around point Z. So let's do it a different way just to show you a different way here. Right, so another way we could have done this is we could have translated it 2 to the right. I'm sorry, 3 to the right. So here's z prime, here's x, here's y. Right. Okay, and then we could have rotated it 180 degrees. So if we would have done a translation, that is 3 to the 3 to the right. And then we took that translation and we rotated it. 180 degrees. And the point we rotated around was point C. So we took a rotation 180 degrees around point C of the translation. That went 3 to the right. Right, and that would be of, right, you started with just the formal notation here. This is what we're translating and then rotating, triangle XYZ, right? We translated that and then we rotated the translation. And that's going to give us triangle ABC. And that shows us that it's a rigid transformation. It shows us that the triangles are congruent. Okay, if we can map the original triangle onto the new one, using rigid transformations, we're showing that they're going to be congruent. Okay, we can check out and see what they did here. So, yep, that's what they did. They did the 3 to the right translation. Or they rotated first. I'm sorry, they rotated 180 degrees first. So we could do that as well. So they rotated around point Z. Right, like this. So they did that rotation first, or up here, right? And then they translated that rotation 3 to the right. So any of those are going to work. And again, you don't need to be so formal when you write yours out. If you simply want to just give a written description of what's going on, that's perfectly fine with me.